The Japanese maple, a brief introduction. Wild populations of Japanese maples can be found in the mountains of Japan, Korea, Mongolia, and Russia. In the wild, it can reach a height of 20 to 35 feet, and it typically has many trunks rather than a single trunk. Older branches have smooth, gray bark, whereas newer ones are green, red, and sometimes pink. Shade-tolerant compared to other deciduous trees, this one thrives in the shadow of towering forest giants. The leaf, typical of maple trees, is lobed, with 5 to 9 lobes on either side and a single central lobe. The veins branch out like the fingers of a hand. The leaves are smaller than on a regular maple tree, and many garden varieties have a deeply split appearance that could fool you into thinking they are anything other than a maple. Flowering in the spring, Japanese maples produce tiny fruit that like tiny keys and fall to the ground in a whirling motion every autumn. Hardiness? Please like and subscribe for more informative videos. Zone 5 through 8, and even Zone 9 for some varieties, is the garden hardiness range for Japanese maples. A few cultivars will even do well in climate Zone 4. In extremely cold climates, branch damage and death can occur over the winter, although the main stems usually recover and grow back. Heat and sun scorch, which can cause the leaves to wilt in summer, are the greatest threats in hot climates. If this happens, the next spring's tree growth will be typical. Typically, this issue can be avoided in the summer by growing trees in areas with more shade and providing them with enough water. Cultivating these trees in tropical and subtropical regions is impossible because of the lack of winter cold necessary to induce the buds to regrow. Planting location: place your tree where you can view it throughout the year. Trees that drape over a slope of water are particularly stunning, while tall and proud trees make excellent specimens or backdrops. They look great when paired with azaleas, rhododendrons, hollies, and hemlocks, all of which thrive in the shade. Using these plants, you may design a beautiful and unique garden that will be interesting throughout the year, even when giant shade trees aren't in full leaf. Japanese maple can be grown effectively in a container or planter box on a deck, patio, or other outdoor space. Smaller pots require more frequent watering, especially in the summer, so keep that in mind if you're planting a young tree in one. You may use just about any container you like, but make sure it has a drainage hole. Having a tree in a container means you can easily relocate it to a more sunny, or shadier, spot in the yard at different times of the year. You shouldn't worry that your garden is wrong for these trees just because you don't have an Oriental or Japanese theme, because they actually look great in practically any garden style. Whether planted in a forest setting or a city courtyard, these trees never fail to make an impression. The beauty of a Japanese maple only increases with time, making it a worthwhile investment. Mature trees increase in value and have an unrivaled air of majesty and refinement as they age. Numerous thousands of dollars might be made off of selling an old tree. Japanese maple care when deciding where to plant a tree, give consideration to its eventual placement. Some types are more resistant to heat than others, but even in the coldest regions, protection from the midday sun and drying breezes is helpful. Planting a tree with a cascading form on a slope, bank, or wall top will showcase its splendor more than if you were to plant it in a flat area. Your first step in taking care of your new tree is to amend the soil. Providing the soil does not remain too moist for extended periods, your tree will thrive in almost any type of soil. The soil should not be flooded. If you want your tree to thrive in any soil, it's best to amend it with a lot of organic matter first. For example, you can use rotten leaves, peat moss, animal manures, such as cow, sheep, or horse manure, or garden compost. The area where you wish to plant your tree should have 1 or 2 buckets of material dug deep into it. Bone meal, rock phosphate, or superphosphate can all promote healthy root development. If you want to put a tree in a pot or a planter box, ensure the container includes drainage holes. Most containers may have holes drilled in them. For ceramic containers, use a masonry bit and a slow drill speed to create a small hole and then gradually enlarge it. For containers outside, use potting soil and replenish the soil every spring. Watering after planting, cover the entire root zone with a thick layer of organic mulch. Be sure to water your tree at least once a week from spring through fall and twice a week when temperatures rise. Winter irrigation may be required in sunny, dry climates. Staking, your tree won't need staking, but if you want a taller tree with a more attractive form, you can pin a few branches upright and leave them that way until they are sturdy enough to stand on their own. The resulting multi-level tree will be both stunning and attention-grabbing. Fertilizing and mulch in the spring, you should refresh the mulch and apply a thin layer of tree fertilizer across the entire root zone. Liquid fertilizer in the late spring or early summer also benefits young trees. From the beginning of growth until late summer, trees grown in planters and containers should be given a liquid fertilizer once a month. Plant can be burned if full-strength fertilizer solution is used. Fertilizing a tree while it is dormant is a bad idea since it could cause it to sprout leaves too quickly, making it vulnerable to frost damage. Water the tree when the top inch of soil in a container dries out. When watering, be sure to do so thoroughly that some water escapes through the holes on the bottom. Trimming and pruning. In most cases, pruning is unnecessary other than removing minor branches that may die off naturally as the tree matures. Pruning back long shoots can help them grow in more densely, but too much work with the pruners could harm the tree's natural habit, which is its greatest strength. Cut down any stubby growth that has sprung from the base of the principal stems and any branches that are tangling or rubbing against one another. Leave branches where important limbs should be, but thin them off to make the tree appear more open and sparse. Trim back lengthy stalks to stimulate denser growth. When pruning, stop your cut slightly above a set of buds. If you want your tree to look even more mature, give the new growth a second cutting in the early summer. To prune your baby tree so that it eventually looks like a mature tree, study photos of the species at various ages. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.